Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm Jacquelene. You're on A1R Psychic Radio on Moonstruck TV, and after much Mercury retrograde happenings this morning, I'm on air for a very short time. I was going to talk about the Temperance card today, but I'm not sure that we'll have time to do that. But what I might do is introduce a starting point of the Temperance card, which is this weighing and measuring and balancing of, measuring and turning lead into gold, sort of measuring the light and dark of things and bringing the best together. 14 as a day of birth is really interesting because you often find people are super critical of themselves, and sometimes a little bit hypocritical can happen. And when we sort of look at balancing the scales and turning lead into gold and all this sort of thing, I'm sort of looking at this current Netflix series Dharma about, the serial killer guy. And I'm sort of looking at it and going, what? Because, it's all about the dude, isn't it? It's kind of sympathizing maybe with him, but there's nothing about treating the victims as humans that I'm sort of finding. It's like if this was a documentary and it sort of went into the victims and, their lives and who they were, I could kind of get closer towards it. But I sort of see it as the victims really are being treated as objects. I've got a lot of problems with it. And there's been some other really good documentaries on serial killers where they don't even really talk about the killer themselves. They highlight the survivors who might have got away and the victims who didn't, and what sort of lives they had and who they were. And I sort of think that when we parade people out there, whether they're mass shooters or serial killers and things like that, it's just making it look more attractive to people who might have thought of doing that. And it's almost condoning it. I mean, where's the warning labels here? Or not so much as just the warning labels, but where's the running commentary of, why this isn't okay? It's a problem. And I sort of look at this whole disposability in society of people that sort of put out there and how that's kind of, very common. You sort of see a lot online where particularly, guys blaming women for not being able to get women to date them because women are picky, not maybe because the guy's actually mistreating her or this sort of thing. Sort of, you got to weigh and measure up a lot of things. And when you look at media that's largely skewed in one direction and it's all sort of really hard right stuff, I sort of find that's not balance going on. That's not the weighing and measuring of things and finding what's actually needing to be combined and what's needing to be thrown out, frankly. That which you fail to condone, you encourage. If you don't condemn and condone stuff that's just not acceptable, where does it stop? And you can sort of go on about free speech as much as you want to, but, where's that line? I mean, I just sort of look at it all and I go, did we really have to create that? I mean, where's the, series on women in history that made a difference, some truly amazing women. I'm starting to see more of the movies that are starting to have women as leads. I mean, heaven forbid 7 millennia of not. I mean, up until recently, weren't we chattels and livestock on, like when it's written about, you look at the past history of if a woman's husband died, she and the livestock and the house and all that sort of went to his brother, like she wasn't a person. And I sort of look at the likes of, Jordan Peterson and stuff like that, and it's like, are you trying to take us back there? It's kind of a bit scary when you think about it. So, the things to weigh and measure up, and I've even seen some women commenting online and going, oh, look, I really don't know what this sudden disharmony is between men and women and why, women are so untrusting of men and, men feel like they can't say anything right. And it's sort of like, well, what harmony? It's only now that we've got a voice in this last while. So I sort of look at that and I go, you'd be amazed by what some clients will actually say in sessions. Usually if a woman's having a session with me or a reading session, she'll talk about one guy, her partner, the guy that she loves. She's trying to work it out with him. She's really trying to bring him across the line. And then if I'm talking to a guy and as a client, I get some really amazing men who, are very loving human beings and very caring towards their wife. And in some cases, they're getting some full-on stuff from that partner and really trying. But quite often, he'll talk about the love of his life, the wife, and how she's not paying me any attention. And next sentence, what about my side chick? Oh, side chick number 2. What about her? And which one of these 3 will make me happy? Make me happy, not... Gee, these people need therapy sometimes, not just a psychic. And I think when you're coming across the question of, is your partner cheating or something like that, something has to be springing your concern. It could be potentially that there's a past relationship and you might be looking through this relationship through that lens. But more often than not, women will ask me, do you think he's cheating? And she'll have evidence, credit card receipts of hotel bills. I mean, why are you asking me? She'll have credit card receipts of hotel bills and lingerie and stuff that he hasn't given her that lingerie, and he didn't take her to that hotel, and it was in the middle of the day when he claimed to be at work. And I don't know. What do you think's happening? Use your discernment in your relationships and, maybe make sure both of you are trying, and, really don't be afraid to be alone. That's the biggest thing. Trust your instincts. If it doesn't feel right, probably isn't. That's me for today. I'm going to do a much bigger show about the actual Temperance card next week when I'm back on air, hopefully for longer. Once Mercury goes direct, that's coming up. Happy spring equinox and autumn equinox, depending on where in the world you are. Catch you next week. Lots of love. Bye.